Hello everybody, it's Cuddlesaurus, and this is what I wanted to say in my last playthrough. So if you guys have been watching my videos here on the channel, you'll know that my last playthrough was Resident Evil 3, the remake. And I got a little bit emotional towards the end of the game. I just had a lot of emotions that were welling up inside of me from things outside of the game. And then when I immersed myself back into the Resident Evil universe, because I like to immerse myself into games and really get into it, I just became a little bit emotionally overwhelmed, again just due to a lot of different things, and I'm sorry about that, but that was a very natural response for me in that moment. So there's not really too much more I can say about that, so moving on. I also did say during the credits that I thought that Resident Evil 3 was perhaps better than Resident Evil 2, and I wanted to clarify what I actually meant by that. What I meant was that I thought Resident Evil 3, this remake, was better in certain sections, mostly the ending. I thought that the ending was a lot more satisfying, and I think it really closed this chapter of the Resident Evil series quite nicely. I do realize that there was a lot of content cut from the game, especially in relation to the original, and also that Jill's new face is bothering a lot of people, and I can understand. I mean, when you look at her old face model who's been in so many of the games, you know, it can be kind of hard to move forward. I know that we got sort of the same reaction with Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 7, but I mean, I actually quite like the new Chris Redfield look. I think he looks a lot more mature. You know, he got off the steroids, got a new job. Good on you, Chris. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I love the Resident Evil games, but I do believe in change. I do believe that change is good. All of that aside, I think that the game overall was very satisfying. I don't think it was phenomenal, but I also don't think it was terrible. I think Resident Evil 7 was phenomenal, and the first time I played Resident Evil 7 was on VR, so I will forever have a very different experience to a lot of people, and I sort of argue that if you haven't played Resident Evil 7 on VR, you haven't really played Resident Evil 7. So I would urge you to do that immediately, because you're missing out on an awesome experience. Anyway, that is a discussion for another time. But in terms of this Resident Evil 3 remake, I think it's very difficult to compare the remake of Resident Evil 2 versus the remake of Resident Evil 3, because for me, I found that they were two different stories within the same context. You know, they were told differently, they were for different characters. It's just not a very fair comparison, I don't think. In terms of playability, yeah, I think Resident Evil 2 definitely had more in it. And on that note of playability and content within the game, I think Resident Evil 3 did a good job of answering the questions we had from Resident Evil 2, such as, how did that guy end up like this? How did that guy end up over there? You know, and things like that, and just getting to see it all tied together. I thought the interaction between Jill and Robert Kendo as well in his store was very cool to see that Robert Kendo is actually a very well-known name at the Raccoon City Police Department, and also amongst the members of STARS, because he designs a lot of their weapons. So, you know, it was very interesting to see that close relationship that he and Jill actually have. And so that's kind of just what I meant by there's those little moments that are just better than Resident Evil 2. They're just a lot more meaningful, you know, especially in this scene where we get to see Robert Kendo's relationship with Jill and how Jill really actually cares about him. And it just takes us more on Jill's emotional journey. And speaking of an emotional journey, these events in Raccoon City are taking place not too long after the Arklay Mountain incident. So you have to cut Jill some slack, because she's still processing that. She's still dealing with that. And so you can see in Jill's nightmare at the beginning of the game that obviously she's struggling to work through everything that she experienced at Arklay. And you know, also just the fact that her probably closest partner in the STARS department, Chris Redfield, is halfway across the world doing something else, and so she essentially feels alone. So it's quite interesting to see how, you know, everything that she's feeling actually ties in to even that final helicopter scene where she's not sitting next to Carlos, she's looking back out over the city, getting one final glimpse before it's about to be obliterated. And you know, she's just thinking about what she has to do. She's staying focused on the fact that she's going to have to now embark on a new journey towards taking down Umbrella. And obviously when Chris Redfield gets back, it's go time. I do apologize if maybe I was just rambling on about a few things, but as I mentioned before, I didn't really get to say this during my last playthrough, and so if I didn't do it then, I was going to end up making a video like this anyway. So a big thank you to all of you who have been with my channel for a little while, and for all you who came on board recently. I see we've got some new subscribers, so guys, welcome, and I really do appreciate having you guys on board, and I can't wait to go on this journey with you to just see this channel grow. I'm trying to get some of my old footage of my playthrough of the Resident Evil 2 remake up on the channel, because if any of you know anything about me, you'll know that Resident Evil 2 was actually my very first YouTube video that I ever uploaded, but something went wrong with it. Even when after it had finished processing, something went wrong, and then I had to take it down, and I just never bothered to re-upload it again. So I'll try and get that uploaded so you guys can watch that. But for now, guys, thank you so much for just all the support. It's really encouraging, you know, to see people interacting with my videos, and the fact that this so-called dream, you know, might actually become a reality one day. I'm gonna stick with it. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's time consuming, but it's fun. And again, guys, I cannot express just how thankful I am. The subscribers that I do have are awesome, and you know, the fact that you guys even bother to watch my videos means a lot to me. It really does mean a lot to me. So guys, that is where I am actually going to officially wrap up this video. And again, I am just going to say, guys, thank you so much for all the support. It means a lot to me to see that you guys do actually watch my videos and interact with them. It's very positive. It means a lot because I've mentioned before, this is what I want to do. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Please take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.